Hi guys, there we have a checkmate into puzzle. This is the most difficult checkmate into puzzle I've ever seen. I would say it is 100 out of 100 difficulty. I posted this puzzle on my TikTok page. By the way, if you don't follow me, there is the link in the description. And I got exactly 344 guesses. And I'm just going to say you that only 5 people out of 344 got the entire solution correctly. Firstly, I'm going to analyze the moves that are wrong, which were brought in my TikTok comments section. The first one who was written the most was king to f1 as the first move, and it was written 78 times out of 344, like 1/4 almost. And it is a good idea because people were saying king f1 and after black moves rook h5 is mate, or rook g1 is mate. But there is a little problem that also they said if f takes c2, king can take and it's checkmate, which is correct, of course. But there is only one move for black that stops the checkmate in two moves, which is knight d2 check. It's a check. If you take it with the bishop or with the queen, there is no mate, because this is the second move. So in this move, white needs to checkmate, and it just is impossible. If you move the king, it's not mate, and you cannot play king e2 like in the line with f takes c2 check. So that is not the solution. Now the second most played move, and with this move you understand why I'm not using an analysis board but the board where you can move the pieces wherever you want, because the second most played move with 64 guesses was king to d2 checkmate in one move. I hope you guys can see that king to d2 is absolutely illegal because you just lose your king. So yeah. The third most guessed move was rook takes b1, and after pawn takes and makes a queen. If I can take this pawn off the board, okay. A lot of people, like 48 people, were saying king d2 checkmate. It looks like checkmate, but in their visualization process, when they were calculating, they missed that when the queen appears on the board, it can take white's queen. So this is not checkmate. Also, a lot of people, 41, were saying pawn takes f3 and then king e2 is unstoppable checkmate. But there is only one move for black to stop that, and that is to sacrifice the rook takes c2, and the king can't go neither to d2, neither to e2, neither to f2. So it just can't, you can't execute your idea, and here there is no checkmate because rook h5, king g1. So that also doesn't work. Then we had the people saying, I'd say a very good guess, queen e3 followed by queen f3 mate, which looks unstoppable. Queen takes, if pawn takes, you just give what? If pawn takes, queen f3, still it's mate. So it looks like checkmate, you know. But there is again the rook sacrifice, rook takes d3. If you go for the same idea, your queen is lost. So that's also why queen e3 is not the solution. And then we had the people saying queen d2, and they were saying if knight takes, king takes is mate, but they forgot that we're playing chess and not checkers. So after queen d2, black can play whatever, even sack the rook like before, and there is no checkmate. Again, they said 15 people said that it was impossible. 14 people said rook h5, and they said, some people even say rook h5 mate, okay. Some people said rook h5, king g1 and bishop h2 mate, which is not mate, so that doesn't work. And king g1, I even read something like rook h3 mate, which okay is bananas. I also read the rook h2 mate, which even if the king were there, this is not mate. Then people in the spirit of the rook takes b1 line, they said queen b1, pawn takes and makes a queen. and king d2 mate, which of course is not even a check now. Even if the rook was there, it could catch it, like in the line with rook takes b1 instead of queen takes b1. So that is also not the solution. Then we had people saying rook g1 mate, which probably were drunk or something because the rook is unprotected. Then we had people saying king e2 eating your own pawn checkmate, which is like the next step. Most people say king d2 illegal move, checkmate, and some people even got the square wrong and said king e2 checkmate. And then we had a few people saying stuff like e3 king e2, which is illegal, or even bishop. This one is insane. Bishop h2 followed by queen f4 mate. First of all, you don't have to take the bishop. You can play whatever. But even if you took it, queen f4 is not mate. King h1. Then we had people saying f1 equals queen mate, which would be correct if I can take this pawn out of board, okay? Queen f1 wait, it would be correct, but the pawn is going the other way, so another illegal move. Then we had people saying rook g2, sack the rook, and then like play king d2 and sacrifice also your king after your rook. And then we had people, and then we had one guy which literally beat king d2, beats king e2, or even people saying king f1 mate, which is nonsense. This one beats them all. One guy said e4, f takes e2, ampazon forced. He said forced, king e2 mate. And with this one, he is the real winner of this puzzle. But of course, you can't even play en passant, because the pawn should have been on f4, not on f3. And also en passant is not forced. But now we have the solution. 20 people said the move, but 15 people like only said the first move or didn't explain it in all the details, and only 5 people got the entire solution correctly. And the move is, I hope you guys found it, and the move is queen to b2, which looks like it does absolutely nothing. But if you look carefully, black is actually in Zugzwang, because if you move the knight, he can take on e2, move the rook somewhere, or move the knight somewhere. The king can't move, of course. So if the knight move to d2, you just take it with the king, and that's checkmate. If the rooks move anywhere, like I don't know, rook takes e5, queen h8 is mate. So that is one variation. If you take on e2, queen b7 is checkmate. You see the checkmate. And last and the most spectacular of them all, if knight a3, long castle checkmate, which is a legal move because you can't castle through check, but the king when castling goes to d1 and to c1, so the knight and the pawn doesn't affect the whole thing. The rook can go through check. Those are the rules. So if knight a3, long castle checkmate. And don't forget to check in the description my TikTok where I post these puzzles, and my store on Etsy where I sell chess hoodies, and hopefully soon also chess t-shirt with famous quotes of players like Bobby Fischer or Carlsen or Michael Tal or whatever. So yeah, see you next time.